Hello mathematicians, today I will be talking about near squares. This is a strategy to help us with our multiplication facts. So in front of you can see a multiplication facts chart. And if you look at what I have highlighted, I actually highlighted all of my multiplication squares on this chart. So if you pay attention, 0 times 0, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, and 10 times 10. If you know, multiplication squares are numbers that are multiplied by themselves. And when you kind of solve it using an array, it comes into a square product. I'll show you what I mean by that. So for example, if I take the problem, let me get my marker. If I take the problem, 2 times 2, it's a number by itself. I can solve it with an array, 2 groups of 2. So that creates a multiplication square with my array. But today we're not talking too much about multiplication squares. We're using them with a strategy, but we're not focusing on them exactly. So what I want to show you is that after highlighting all of my multiplication squares, or numbers multiplied by themselves, I now am going to use these facts to solve multiplication problems that are near squares. So let me explain what that means. So, for example, I am solving this problem, 6 times 5. I don't know the answer to it, but I'm going to figure out how to solve it using my near squares. So my problem is 6 times 5 equals what? So I'm going to find 6 times 5 on my chart. I see it right here. I'm going to circle it. Now, I don't know how to solve this, but I'm going to use the multiplication square that I know. And if I look right next to it, 5 times 5 is the nearest multiplication square. So it's a number by itself. So I know that 5 times 5 is 25, just because that is a square product that I know. I can count by 5 as our skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5 groups of 5. But now I need to figure out using this, 5 times 5 equals 25, as a helper fact. I need to use it to figure out 6 times 5. So, let me think. What could I do? 6 times 5 is one group greater than 5 times 5, and I'm using 5 times 5 as a helper fact. So I think I'm going to add 25. Let's see. 6 times 5. So I think I'm going to add one more group of 5 so that I can have 5 groups of 6, just like my problem, 5 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 5. And if I add that, I'll get 30. So using my helper fact, or my 5 times 5, I was able to get 6 times 5, and I got 30. Because all you have to do is look at your helper fact, or your multiplication square, the ones that are highlighted, and see what's next to it. If you look at this, there are a bunch of near squares. So there's 6 times 5 like we did. There's 4 times 5. If I go up to this square, I have 2 times 1 is a near square. 0 times 1 is a near square. If I look at 3 times 3, 4 times 3 is a near square. 2 times 3 is a near square. So any numbers that are near, literally near my multiplication squares, they will help me find my near square products. And that has been near squares using a multiplication facts chart.